All this time, the world has looked at economic development as a macro issue, looking at it at macro growth rates, the growth rate of the economy being the most vital indicator there is. Macro growth has not led to either reducing income inequalities, nor has it led to overcoming certain key deficiencies, or shall I say discrepancies, discrimination in society that exists. And certainly one of the largest group of people that's discriminated against are women. If you look at any issue in the world, education, health, malnutrition, environmental issues, natural disasters, calamities, wars, the victims are invariably women and children in very much greater percentages and proportions than the men. Yet, when it comes to the solution, women are not part of the solution. And for me, for us in SWAN, South Asia Women's Network, we are absolutely clear that women-centric solutions is the way ahead. And it's not that if you make women-centric solutions that women will be the only beneficiaries. No. In fact, way back in matters like microfinance and self-help groups, it has been recognized that helping a woman means helping a family. Helping a man means helping one person. So if you look at the influence on education, the influence on making sure a girl child goes to school, all this will move much faster if you make women as a central solution. South Asia women have shared problems of poverty, of discrimination, of tremendous victimization in the aftermath of natural disasters and conflicts, and lack of education, lack of ownership of resources, of land and other resources, very few of them with independent incomes. So when we saw these shared problems, we realized that looking at them together will help us find solutions, because we can exchange best practices, we can exchange experiences and see what has worked, what the difficulties are, how we can take shortcuts to overcoming the difficulties, how we can work with governments, how we can work with NGOs at the grassroots level. And at all times we did realize that the work in SWAN has to begin from the bottom up, that women's issues cannot be a top-down phenomenon. But even in leadership, women have to remember those at the grassroots level. They have to remember those who have been left behind, because unless those women can come up, a few at the leadership level will not be able to make that much of a difference. South Asia has perhaps the largest numbers of women leaders in the world. But in the end, this has not been able to overcome many vital women's issues. So the vision of SWAN is to work together to overcome women's difficulty through a women-centric focus on solutions. We want women's agency, women's leadership, women's participation in all the vital issues that affect women and society as a whole. So right from grassroots to parliamentarians, we have everybody in our group. So this is the kind of collective effort that we are bringing together in SWAN. It's a question of the mindset you are brought up with, the question of the value systems that you imbibe. And I think that maybe growing up in a family with all girls, and so we grew up with the feeling that yes, we have to do well, and we are not going to stand for any discrimination. And this, I think, molded my first steps in choosing diplomacy as a career. I was very fond of traveling, very fond of foreign languages. My husband, who's also a career diplomat, that partnership was another vital aspect, because the aspect of sharing and caring, the aspect of doing things together, bringing up the children together as a shared endeavor, that's vital. In the diplomatic service, in the government service, you find so many aspects of discrimination, rules, antiquated rules which people have not bothered to change, which may mitigate against women's interests. And I happily took up those cudgels and fought those battles and came out of this. I think that issue of the mindset came up so strongly and clearly in many aspects and places where I worked. But it's a ingrained mindset that no, this is not something for women to do. So I think this important need to work with women and men together bringing men on board and working with the women, saying that, look, let's all change our mindsets for mutual benefit. Later on, when I was at the university, I decided to do something about it and created this group with the focus on South Asia, because I'm very, it's my region, and I feel that the people of South Asia have a tremendous civilizational interaction, which goes back millennia, that we are, so we have the same values. So that's why I decided to create the South Asia Women's Network, which would then focus on the shared diversity, or the unity in the diversity of what there is in South Asia. Since we have the same issues of women, we'll work together to overcome it. Take the opportunities given to you. Take up these women leadership positions at the grassroots level. Join the civil service as per the conditions. Make sure you have, the right degrees and so on. Then, when you join, you must move ahead on the basis of equality. You must look for equality. You must fight for equality. But I'm not talking of a clash, because I think clashes leave a very bad taste in the mouth. You must work together with men. You must bring men on board to change their mindsets. You must always make sure that what we're doing, or make sure that you convey and make other people understand that what we're doing is for the benefit of everybody. So I think that being yourself, choosing your path depending on your talent and your ability, then recognizing that no matter which path you've chosen, women will be discriminated against, fighting against discrimination, being the change you want to see, and then working together with everybody to make a better life for all of us.